ready, bro.
What up, Wholesale to Million family? Happy Monday. Dude, I'm bringing you guys back with, so this is a re-interview. So, man, I have talked to Brian on his first wholesale deal. How long ago, bro?
Was it 2 years ago, I think? Almost two years, two and a half.
And now I'm bringing him back onto the channel to share with you guys his story's kind of where he's at. Where are you at right now, bro?
I'm here in Downey, man. I'm here in Los Angeles. Man.
I want to know how much you're making right now, bro.
Well, last month, man, we closed 6 figures.
Woo!
We closed 6 figures in assignment fees.
Dude, tell me, bro.
Gotcha, brother.
That's what I'm talking about. Dude,
yeah, man.
Guys, like this business is real, and anybody can do this, but anybody that's willing to put in the WORK, man. All right. So now I'm bringing Brian on to share with you guys how he went from doing his first wholesale deal 2 years ago to scaling his business to where it is today. I'll have him obviously share with you guys kind of how his operation works, what his marketing is, how he's generating his leads, how he finds his cash buy, how he's closing the deals. So for those of you, if you find any value, if it add any value, in this interview, please show my guests some love, smash the thumbs up, comment below if you have any questions. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Wholesale to Million family, where we are the doer and not the talker. If you talk more than you do, then you're probably on the wrong channel, my man, or my ladies. So anyways, I'm going to hand it over to Brian and let him share kind of how he went from there to where he is now. Dude, my internet connection is, I don't know what's going on, bro. But Brian, I'm going to let you take over.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, just real quick, I wanted to say it's a pleasure being here, Khang. Appreciate you having me back on. It's been a while since we last spoke, but I've seen your growth, man. Last time we spoke, I don't know how many subscribers you were at, but now, man, I just seen you just skyrocketed, man. So congratulations on that.
Hey, Brian, first of all, man, I want to say thank you so much, and obviously congrats on your success, dude. You're killing it. And, dude, my growth has kind of been steady, dude. It hasn't popped, dude. It hasn't popped or haven't leaped like Max Maxwell, bro. Like it hasn't. Boom,
bro, this interview's going to get you there. I promise you. I'm just playing.
Yeah, man.
No, you'll get there, man. You'll get there.
What's that?
You're going to get there, brother. You'll get there.
Dude, you know what, man? Throughout my life, whether it's in the personal brand or whether it's in my wholesaling or whether I was starting out, in my JOB, dude, but my growth has always been like this. Like, dude, I've seen people that all of a sudden they went from boom here, and then in a year or 2 years they went boom to like here. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden they just exploded.
Yeah.
But dude, I like so far in my business, I haven't seen that. It's always a really slow and steady growth, right? Dude. So, anyways, man, I'll let you take over, dude.
Okay. Yeah, man. Just a quick background about myself. So, yeah, I'm 20 years old. I'm here in Los Angeles right now. I started when I was 18 years old, as far as the wholesale business. But I've kind of always been in that entrepreneurship type journey. I started a clothing line when I was 16 years old in high school. And wow, it was doing pretty good for me at that time. I think I made like $10,000 in 3 months, and that was with zero marketing, no ads, nothing. It was just kind of just hustle and, meeting up with local rappers in the area and just networking via social media and stuff. So I've kind of always been in that entrepreneur side. I've always been into that entrepreneurship side. It wasn't until 18 though when I got into real estate. Met up with my buddy named Taylor, and he was kind of doing the same thing I was doing at the time, which is kind of like social media marketing type thing. And he told me about that little side hustle. He was kind of doing it as a side hustle, and he showed me a big, I was making like $1,000 a month off that social media stuff. But when he showed me that check, I was like, man, what is that? How did you get into that? And he told me about, he's like, hey, you need to read this book. You need to go on this website, and you need to look into it. So yeah, I looked into it, and yeah, man, it was hard. It was hard starting off. I didn't have much money at the time. I was working at 9 to 5 at Little Caesars, and I had just dropped out of college. I went for like 2 weeks. And some people may be like, oh, well, Little Caesars 9 to 5 at 18 years old. How bad could that be? It's bad when you know you get kicked out of your home, you know, just because of the mistakes that I've made and the decisions I've taken, and trying to find a place to rent, you know, and then working that shitty job. That's when it becomes hard, and that's when it was hard for me, you know. Fortunately, you know, it was a very depressing time for me at the time, Kyle. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be straightforward. It was a very, very depressing time for me. And you know, I just kept my head up and I just kept moving forward. And you know, every little dime that I got, I put it into the real estate thing. I put it into the bandit signs, and you know, I did that for 6 months, and with no luck. But you know, after that 6 months, I got my first deal. I got my first deal off a bandit sign, and you know, once I got that deal, it was just a proof of concept for me, and it led to me, you know, wanting to grow this, you know, grow into something bigger, which is, you know, what I'm trying to do, still trying to do today, you know, trying to make it bigger, trying to make it bigger. So yeah, I with that $6,000, I kind of blew it a little bit. On I tried doing like different types of marketing. Unfortunately, it didn't go too well. But you know, luckily enough, two months after that, I think I closed the deal like a $40,000. And yeah, that's when I took that money and I really put it to work. I really put it to work right away. So I'm gonna be smart with this. You know, got myself some cold callers, opened up a little office, and you know, just brought a bunch of people. When I brought people in, though, it was kind of like a super quick turnover. People were quitting on me, you know, every other month, you know. So it was kind of like it was that was the hardest part for me, like trying to find the right people, you know. It was, I'm sure you guys go through that as well, Con, just trying to find the right people. And you know, that was kind of like the biggest hurdle. But once I found the right people, put the right people in place, you know, got the right systems in place, that's when I started seeing the most of my results. So yeah, that's kind of where I saw that growth.
Awesome, dude. Awesome, bro. Hey, great. Hey, first of all, Brian, dude, great story, bro. So now, first question, man.
Yeah.
When you're feeling down and when you're feeling depressed, dude, like what trigger you to get excited and motivated? Like, and you like, because obviously, you know, when you're depressed and when you're down, you really don't want to do anything, or you know, you don't want to start no side hustle, no business. So what really got you excited to start looking to real estate?
It wasn't, to be honest, Colin, it wasn't really much of excitement. It was kind of just like, I didn't have any other choice. Like, I really didn't have any other choice. I had dropped out. I had got kicked out multiple times of my home. And it was kind of just like all the odds were against me. And I didn't really feel like anybody believed in me either. You know, nobody really believed that I was going to, you know, amount to anything or anything like that. So all that fire just lit something in me where I just said, you know what? I'm going to make this happen no matter what, you know, no matter what I'm going through right now. I have to make this happen because I don't want to end up like just, you know, I don't want to end up somewhere I don't want to be, you know. I want to make this thing happen. So I kind of felt like just having that pressure on me, Kong, like all that pressure, you know, at the time it seemed like a curse, but it turned out to be a blessing. You know, it really motivated me. It really pushed me to be where I'm at right now. Obviously, I'm still growing every single day, still progressing every single day, but man, I'm in a much better place than I was 2 years ago. I'll tell you that, Kong. So yeah, I feel like it was just having everything against me. It just kind of gave me like a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to prove everybody wrong, you know. So
I see, bro. So
like
basically, what pushes you was actually pain.
Yeah, in the beginning,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So now let me ask you, what pushes you today?
Today, man. Well, that's when I start seeing the bigger picture, you know. I started seeing the picture, like once you have, you know, a certain amount of money coming in, you kind of see everything a little bit differently. You're not in that position where you want to work just for the money. You know, I want to put people on, you know, I want to put some of my friends onto this business. I want to put my family onto the business, and I want to put everybody in a better position because nobody in my family owns their own business, Colin. Like nobody, no uncles, no cousins,
Dude.
nobody.
You're
So it
talking
was
my
kind of
story,
just,
bro.
yeah, man. So literally nobody does. So I want to kind of be that stepping stone. You know, I want to be that first person to actually bring that into light. So maybe it inspires somebody in my family to want to do their own thing in the future, you know, and, you know, I could provide some guidance for them along the way as well. So that's kind of my why right now, just trying to make it a bigger thing, bigger than myself, bigger than,
Cool, bro. Hey, dude, for those of you who,
you know, the money, the cars, whatever it is, it's just, I want to make it bigger.
gotcha. For those of you watching, man, I gotta apologize for the internet connection. It's just going back and forth, back and forth. Now it keeps on freezing.
Is that me, or is that?
What's that?
Is that me?
No, dude. That it's on me. Now, Brian, dude, you remind me of I'm sure that you know Alex, right? You know Alex?
Which Alex?
The Alex that he's like 20 something. He's killing the game as well, doing like 6-figure a month wholesaling.
Yeah, the one from Arizona.
Or some Alex Sanchez or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I met him. I actually met him at one of the speaking conference. A really cool dude, super motivated, super inspiring, killing in the game within like just like you, man. Like a story of like a 1 to 2 year growth, and he's just killing it, man. So now, Brian, let me ask you, man. So what is your so going from your first deal, 6,000. First of all, I'll have Brian kind of dissect his business a little bit to tell you guys kind of how it all set up. But Brian mentioned something, and I'm going to ask you, Brian, when you first closed that wholesale deal, dude, now obviously it becomes a proven to you, right? Now it actually works. It becomes real to you. Like, hey, I can really do this now. Now let me ask you, man, what are some of your mistakes going from that deal to the second, the third, the fourth, etc.?
Yeah. So I would say the biggest mistake or hurdle that I came across, Kong, was, like I mentioned to you earlier, just finding the right people and having the right systems in place. Those were my biggest hurdles starting off. I've had times where I had come across some good people, but I didn't have the systems in place to you know, keep them motivated. You know, the leads were coming in slow sometimes, and that kind of just drove them away. So I had to make sure I get the systems right. And then once I got the systems right, I started looking for the right people. And at that time I couldn't find the right people. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of just like a big, you know, hurdle that I came across. And I burned through a lot of money trying to find that right spot, you know? So that was my biggest hurdle. I would say, is just trying to find the right people. I was bringing on, you know, I made a mistake of just trying to bring on like friends and stuff like that. And as you know, like some people they just don't really have it and in them to want more. And I just kind of had to learn that the hard way, just trying to put some people on, and they just weren't ready for it. They weren't ready to put in the work. So, you know, you got to find the right people, the people that want it just as bad as you do. You know, they want to see you win. They want to see the whole company win. And I feel like that was my hardest part of trying to find the right people.
Gotcha, man. And I think that's going to be the hardest part for a majority of people that's trying to grow their business, is finding the right people that's actually on the bus with you, not like you're carrying them on the bus, dude. It's like they're pulling you back. But
exactly.
Now, Brian, I know that you mentioned this, and I think that a lot of people can relate to this. You said when you close your first wholesale deal for $6K, you made a mistake and you blow it away because of focus. You were focused on too many things, right, bro?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was, to be honest. I was. And, you know, at the time, obviously $6,000 is not much, but at that time it felt like a lot to me. Yep. And, you know, I just spread myself too thin. You know, I bought a big list and I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. It was kind of just trying to experiment with different types of marketing. And outside of that, I just blew it on stupid stuff, you know, just going out and stuff. But
hey, you know what, dude? Hey, man, you're only like what, at like, you know, 18, 19, 20 at the time. So, dude, we all make that mistake. All right, we all make it, man. So now, because I see people that do this, dude, that I'm telling you guys, man, focus is so important, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you focus on, that's what's going to grow. Okay. Whatever you focus on, man, that's what's going to grow. All right. Energy flow where focus go. Because I see a lot of people, man, that they lose focus. They trying to do multiple business, right? Trying to, you see, they trying to launch multiple business at the same time. They got the FBA, the Amazon drop shipping, you know, all of that, or they trying to do the social marketing and they trying to build a brand, like all at the same time, right? And it's like, and until one that you can systemize and it doesn't require all your attention and all your time, where you can now have that time to go and put it on growing another stream of income, what you're doing is you're going to be really hurting yourself by going at, I mean, to me anyway, I don't want to put my limited belief, all right, on anyone, but I'm just saying when you're trying to catch two rabbits, well, I guess that's what people say. At the same time, you end up catching none. You end up being average on both of them. So just really focus and zone on one business, grow that where you have system and team in place. Now it doesn't require you. Then you can go and start another stream of income. Most people thought that I go on YouTube, you know, I launched YouTube and now I make the money from there. Dude, when I launched YouTube, that was like probably almost coming 3 years ago. Dude, at that time I already have the system and the business in place. And I was only doing like 2 hours a day. And I said, well, what else am I gonna do? Right. And then I heard Gary Vee said about, hey, build your personal brand, you know, have another stream that matches into whatever you're doing. Don't just go from whatever you're doing and now not launch another business that's completely different. So I said, hey, I love teaching people, so I'm gonna go into this route. Okay. Now, I want you to talk about this, dude. So what are you, so what does your team looks like now?
Yeah. So most of my team, Kong, is virtual now.
Okay.
Most of it. I have like 7 VAs and I believe I have like 6 of them or 5 of them doing cold call, just outbound cold calling, very simple, just following a script. And they're all based in Mexico.
Oh.
My buddy owns an agency out there, so I met him and he just gave me that plugin, and
cool.
You know, they're doing good. They're bilingual. They're doing very good for us. So that's for the cold calling side. I have one in-house acquisition, and then I have a VA acquisition, virtual acquisition that's in that call center. So I pay them differently. Obviously, the VAs are a lot cheaper. So that's why we kind of just try to leverage those people a lot more. We have a transactional coordinator, VA as well. And yeah, that's pretty much like the structure that we have right now.
Okay, bro. So you got five people, VAs from Mexico, that's cold calling for you.
Cold calling, just
and
outbound.
what list do you cold call?
We hit several lists. I'd say the biggest one for us right now is owner occupied.
Okay.
It's owner occupied. You know, we were doing the whole absentee thing for a while, but we just kind of saw it get a little too saturated.
Right.
You know, we were just buying. I feel like everybody was hitting that list, so we just had to mix it up a little bit. We do 35 to 100% equity on the criteria of it, and then plus 30 years residence. They live there for 30 years plus. And yeah, that list is doing very good for us right now. We're also hitting pre-foreclosures on the side as well, and probates as well.
Okay, got it. So owner occupied, 30% to all the way to free and clear.
Yeah.
And then you got pre-foreclosure and probate. Those are the only 3 lists that you're targeting right now?
And absentee as well. We mix it in there as well.
Okay.
Absentee. That's for the most part. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And is Brian, is all you're doing is cold calling?
No, we're doing text blast as well. We're using text blast, and we're doing a little bit of RVMs as well. So, you know, those are the 3 main marketing sources that we have right now. But for the most part, we just try to keep it simple. Sure,
man. So so now so how do you set it up, bro? You would cold call all those lists? So you would pull everybody from that list and cold call everyone on that list? Or is there a list that you cold call? There's a list that you text or
Yeah, so we try to hit every the whole list with different with all the marketing, text, blast, RVM, cold call. But for the most part, as far as the ringless voicemail drops is the only one that we use for I believe it's the absentee and the owner occupied. We don't really mess with the other list on that one.
okay.
But yeah, for the
Now,
most part though, we try to hit everything.
sure, okay. And so who are you using for our RVM?
I'm using sendthedrop.com. So I'm using.
Okay. And how much are they charging per drop?
I think it's like for 20,000 drops, I pay like $600.
Okay. Gotcha,
Which
man.
is
So now I
yeah.
want to ask you, man, is majority of your leads, is it coming from cold calling, RVM, or text message?
Cold calling for sure.
Okay.
Cold calling for sure. That's I would say 70 to 80% of our deal flow. I know a lot of people, they're saying, cold calling is dead or cold calling is saturated. I just feel like their level of consistency is just isn't there. Maybe they give it a shot for a month or give it a shot for a couple of weeks and they don't get any results and they just kind of label it dead and they move on to the next thing. Which goes back to what you were saying. You got to stay focused on it and stay consistent with it. And we've so far been very consistent with it, man. It's been treating us good. So
Cool. Now, Brian, are you in your local market or are you in another state?
So we're in two different markets. We're in Texas, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio areas, and then we're in California. We're in California. We do a lot of the Northern California cities like Stockton, Bakersfield, the lower income areas.
Yep.
We try to stay around 300,000 ARV and below.
Good for you.
For the most part, but we do mix in there, LA as well. That's where we get our big ones.
Now, Brian, let me ask you, man. So the market that you're in California, you're staying away from the Asian crowd, right?
The what?
Like any city or county that has like a high percentage of Asian, you're staying away from them, right? Or what?
Yeah, man. Nothing against them. I'm not. We're not being racist or whatnot, but we've bought a lot of lists in that area, and they just don't want to do business with us. I don't know why. I don't know why they.
Yeah, man, dude. The Asian, you guys can try. Forget it, man. If you are, I'm just warning you right now to save yourself some money because you will never be able to find a wholesale. I wouldn't say never, but 99.9% chance, 99.9% chance you won't get a deal from an agent unless you know something about the property where it can be subdivided, expanded, like something that's really secretively that they don't know. Because I'm telling you, it's like I've been doing it for 8 years and have never done a deal with an agent. Asian name, I just bypass it.
Kong, you should come up with a software to filter the certain races out.
I should, dude. I should. So now, okay, man. So so you got one in-house acquisition. So you guys don't go out to see the property, right?
For the most part, no. But we, sometimes if it's in the area, and we feel like we could get a little bit more just by meeting them in person, then we just make that trip. But for the most part, we have boots on the ground all over, so there's no need for it.
Sure. So you lock it up in a contract over the phone. And now, Brian, how are you finding your buyers, man?
We're getting our buyers from ListSource. We pull a list of cash buyers by looking for 100% equity in the last 3 months. So somebody that bought for cash in the last 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
And then we pull that list and then we just text blast them all. And then we have a VA filter through all of them and then we just build that list through there.
I see, bro. So now let me ask you then, Brian, what company are you using for skip tracing?
I'm using Batch Skip.
Yeah, Batch Skip tracing.
Yeah.
Okay, man. So now, your cold caller, obviously your cold caller set up the appointment for I guess how many purchase manager? I mean, I call them purchase manager, but other people call them like acquisition. Like, how many of those do you have?
I have two. I have one in-house and one virtual.
Okay. So
and I'm
so
looking to get another one real soon.
Gotcha. Okay, so those are the one that calls back and lock the property up in the contract.
Yeah.
And then once the property's under contract, now where does it go to?
So me personally, I'm handling dispo right now and the marketing side of everything. And so, whenever the deal comes in, we have it come into the podio and whatnot, and then we just blast it out to our buyers via text blast or email campaign. We use MailChimp.
Yep, same here. Okay, gotcha, bro. So now, okay, so you are so I call them the transaction coordinator. So once the deal's under contract, you actually so you focus on selling the deals and do all the marketing. Yeah.
I'm looking to hire a dispo real soon though.
Cool, man.
But for the most part, that's what we do now. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Brian, does your purchase manager do this, or who does the ARV calculation? Who construct that offer?
Yeah. So I trained them on making offers.
Okay.
I trained them on making offers. If they have, if the property's like a very like deep, like has something that, it's very hard to comp, then they request me to help them out with it. So like, let's say, maybe it's on a main street or something like that, or there's an alley behind the house and other properties don't, or they just it has an add-on or two add-ons, whatever it is. I go ahead and take a look at it personally, and I go ahead and let them know what's the next step. But for the most part, they have it. They have a formula that they follow, and they just stay to it.
Okay. And now, Brian, like in the market that you're in, are you feeling the 30% rules, or what percentage are you basing it off to get your property on the contract?
Yeah. So here in LA, in California, we do ARV times 80%. Just because we feel like it's a lot more harder to get a deal out here. So the buyers are just willing to pay a little bit more than, somewhere where the deals are just flowing in.
So in California, you guys are good with the 20% discount.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about in Texas?
Texas, we do the 30%. Yeah.
Okay. You guys don't, I'm asking, these are very important. A lot of you guys, and I'm going to do a video on this. A lot of you guys are making mistakes where you don't know how to calculate ARV, you don't know how to calculate your rehab, and you don't know your market. Like, you don't know if it's a 20% market, a 25% market, or a 30% market. Because if you were shooting for 30%, right, in a 20% market, which is, just like Brian in LA, guess who's going to get, if you compete, who's going to get a majority of the deals? It'll be Brian, because Brian can offer more because he only needs to lock it up on a contract at a 20% discount. But if you don't know your market, you're going to come in and thinking, hey, I got to offer 30% or 35%, or whatever the case may be, right? And if you're in a market that 40%, it needs to be lower than 30%, right? And you're locking up on the contract at 30%, maybe it's too high, all right? So understand your market is very, very important. Understand your buyers, how much they need a discount, what numbers they're buying at is also very, very important. And, that's why the people that's in the game for a long time, the experienced one, they get more deals under contract is because of that, right? Because they have more experience, and they know what's a deal, what's not a deal, and they're able to see it versus you coming into the game as new. But obviously, I'm saying that to not discourage you. I'm saying that for you to, do your homework, look at your market, and the better you know it, the more chance you'll be able to get a deal under contract.
Exactly.
So now, Brian, how much is your average deal size?
Okay, so in Texas, the average deal size is $8,000 to $12,000. And here in Cali, anything here in LA, we try to make at least $20,000 at least.
Okay.
Yeah, so we try to stay under that.
So what is your monthly expense, bro?
Including marketing and everything.
Yep.
I'd say between $16,000 to $18,000.
Okay. $18K a month. Okay, so now let me and your employee is so the cold callers is on an hourly pay.
Mm-hmm.
And then how about
most of them?
So is any one of them on commission or at all?
Yeah, I think one of our VAs is on just commission solely, but for the most part, they're all getting paid hourly. Our cold callers doing outbound sales, I believe they're getting paid between $6 to $8 an hour. And then our acquisition manager virtually is getting paid $8 an hour, plus anything above 50K, they get paid 8% commission. Anything below 50K, they're getting paid 6% commission.
Okay. Gotcha,
So,
bro.
I know that's a little bit more expensive than, getting somewhere from like the Philippines or something, but we just find, I'd rather just pay for quality, just rather pay for the quality of it.
I understood. So now the next thing is, I was going to ask you is, so you don't have anyone that's just on commission only? Because I know that there are people out there that their whole main thing is cold calling, and they put everybody on commission. So one person will talk to the seller, lock it up, and sell a deal. Like that one person will do everything.
Yeah, we tried that.
Yeah,
we tried that in the beginning. Like I said, I got an office and I got a lot of people in here, and they were all just on commission. But what I find, Kong, is like it's very, very, very hard to try to keep those people motivated. Especially when those people have bills to pay and, they have, things to cover. And a lot of them are making a pretty big drive just to get to the office. So it was just kind of, it was hard, it was hard just to keep them. But if you have a system where, you constantly have people coming in, then I guess that might work. But I just got tired of just, every single month, having to hire more people and more people and more people, so I'd rather just have something stable.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, man, dude. I mean, the turnover is what costs us business owner money, right? It's the turnover. It's a waste of time of you training them up, because obviously it takes your time to train them up, right? Or or unless you hire somebody to train that one person, and that person, train the whole, but it's still going to take time away from you or that person, right? To train them up, and then another month they quit, and then you got to start all over again. Go through the whole process again. Dude, yeah, every single business owner go through that, and that's what costs, is that training period.
Yeah, and then that dialer is expensive, and nobody's on the phones dialing because you're training them. Then it adds up quick. So.
Absolutely, man. So Brian, I mean, we're gonna wrap this up, man.
Yeah.
What are scaling your business up, like? I want you to, I guess my question is, what are some tips or feedback or advice that you can give to the person that maybe closed their first deal already, or haven't closed their first deal? Let's start with one that haven't closed their first deal. Well, what are some advice that you can give them?
Okay, so they haven't closed their first deal. Try to find the right person to learn from, trying to find somebody to guide you along the way. I would say, that's kind of the mistake that I made in the beginning. I just didn't really have nobody to guide me or show me the ropes or anything. So, I learned through time. I learned by 6 months of just hard brain damage and everything, and, that's one way you could do it. Or if you want to save that time, invest it by trying to find somebody who's already doing what you're trying to do. Or if you don't have money to pay them, find a way to work for them for free, or try to add value to them so that they could guide you along the way, and you could learn a thing or two, because other than that, you're gonna just waste up your time, and money comes back, but your time doesn't. So I'd rather invest my money than my time when it comes to that. So if I could go back and do that all over again, I would try to find the right person to learn from.
Dude, hands down agree with that. Now, Brian, let me listen. You guys, first of all, I want to add this, what Brian just said. You have to understand yourself. I hear Gary Vee say this all the time. Self-awareness. Dude, it's extremely important, because you know why? We each learn differently. Some people learn by looking picture. Like they can look at a picture and put a puzzle together. Some can read and put it together. Some need somebody to, like, visual, right? Some hear, some see, like visual. Like they need to see or some just like they watch a bunch of video and they still can't do it because they need someone to hold their hands where they can just go somewhere, and then hey, and then they run across a hurdle, and they want to be able to pick up the phone and ask that person a question like throughout the process, and that's what I needed, right, dude? I was 6 months in, man. Did everything, took massive action, and didn't see no results, because then I started to see. I said, you know what, Kong? I learned by having people there physically showing me, right, physically, and that was me, dude. And that's where I hire my mentor, and I pay a lump sum for it. But obviously, just like you mentioned, once you pay for the money, you get to, now you show me how to make that once, I can make it over and over and over again for the rest of my life. So you gotta understand yourself. Not everybody needs to get a mentor. Not everybody needs to invest in a course. Not everybody needs to go to that seminars, whatever it is. But self-awareness, right? Knowing how you learn, best, dude. Now,
that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Now, I want to add. Now, Brian. Now, how about to those people that have got their first deal, and now they want to, like, obviously have more consistent deals?
Yeah. So I would say, to the people that have closed a couple of deals, maybe they're closing 1 or 2 deals a month and they want to take it to that next step. It's all about just investing more money into the business, to be honest. At first, when I was trying to scale up, I was scared to drop, $5,000 a month in marketing. I just kind of had that scarcity mindset. Like, what if I dump this money in there? What if I don't get it back? Or, I just kind of had that mindset. And now, like I said, we're dropping close to 18 a month. If you would have told me I'm dropping that much like 2 years ago, I'd have been, what? So it just kind of having that shift in your mindset, and like you have to go all in. That's the only way you're gonna grow, and that's the only way you're gonna scale up. Stop playing small and just dump it in there, man. Dump it in there. Educate yourself first. Obviously, don't just blow through the money, but once you educate yourself, take action, man. I know a lot of people who know a lot, and they know more than me. But when I ask them, how many deals are you guys closing a month? They have nothing to show for it. So don't be that guy that knows everything, but at the end of the day, they have nothing to show.
Absolutely, dude. It's like when I first started, man. When I first started, I go to my local RIA. It's I don't know, but it's to me, it seems like the one that don't do a lot of deals that talks a lot, right? Because they've been studying, they're watching, and they know the whole entire thing. Like, they can tell you exactly what to do, but they took zero action. If you have met one of those at the RIA or at a seminar, at a real estate event, comment in and let me know, man. Comment in and let me know, or maybe tag them out, dude. But dude, I go to RIA and they talk like they know, and then when you ask them, so have you done any deal? How many deals? Or you would say, how many deals have you done? Oh, I haven't done any deals yet. But I know what I need to do, but they haven't even pulled the trigger. All right, dude, you guys stop watching videos, stop listening to podcasts, figure out your missing link, figure out the first thing that you need to go do, execute it. All right, because knowledge without execution, dude, say this all the time, it's worthless. Don't be the one that sits there and like the know-it-all. Like, dude, like you don't need to know, like when you get into real estate, you don't need to know all the cap rate. Like, you don't need to know all of that up front. Oh, the cap rate, the NOI, you can do the math, you can do the cap. Like, you know it all, but you haven't even taken action to do anything. All right. So you got to take action, man. A lot of you are just sitting there, or just not taking enough action. And a lot of them go, make a couple calls, and you're like, oh, this is it. This doesn't work. So, Brian, it's a long one, man. So let's wrap it up. How do people connect with you, dude?
I'm on Instagram, Brian Alejandre 1 with the number 1. You're gonna have I'm sure you'll put it in the description or something for them to take a look at it. But yeah, you can connect with me. Shoot me a message if there's anything I do to help you guys out. Just shoot me a message. I'll respond.
Awesome, man. So, Brian, just on Instagram or anywhere else?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram just for right now. I see you're on TikTok though.
Dude,
how many followers do you have on that?
Hey, dude, Brian, you're only 20. You should be on TikTok, dude. TikTok's where all the 20s, the teens, the kids, there are some boomers and some Z, I guess they call them Z generation. I thought I was, I go on there and they calling me a boomer. At first, bro, I didn't know what a boomer is. At first, I was like, Well, I read it at Bomber. I read it because obviously my reading, right? I read it at Bomber. I don't know why they call me a bomber. I thought, you know, because Brian, have you ever seen the guy that was on the what is it? The poker tournament where they call him the Unabomber?
I've
like
never.
Okay, so for those of you who watch poker, the guy go on and then what he does is have his sweatshirt, right? They call him the Unabomber. So when he gets down to a spot where he's gonna go all in, he put his hood on, he zip it up so people don't see his expression or whatever it is, and they call him the Unabomber. So when I went on there, I thought they called me the bomber, but it's actually the boomer. Boomer means I'm old. So anyway, but anyways, Brian, any last word, man? I'm gonna let you wrap it up. Any last word, bro?
Yeah, man, just a pleasure being here, Connor. Like I said, I really appreciate you having me back on, man, to share, you know, this message. Hopefully this inspires somebody out there. And yeah, like I said, if this does inspire you, make sure you take action, make sure you put in the work, because I mean, life could change, you know, quicker than you could think. So
awesome. I mean, dude, just 2 years ago, Brian was doing his first deal. I think you're in your apartment or somewhere. I'm not sure. Right?
Yeah. I was in the kitchen, I think. Yeah.
So anyways, if this interview added any value to you, comment below, smash the thumbs up, show Brian some love. Maybe you comment, tag Brian, hit him up on IG. And anyways, going to wrap this up. For those of you who recently closed your first wholesale deal, love to bring you onto the channel to help motivate and inspire others. Just like us, man, just normal people out there, just trying to make it in life, right? Trying to start a business, trying to make it in life, doing everything that we can for our loved one, for our families, and obviously for our future. So anyways, you guys, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Also, too, make sure you turn on the bell notification. And one last thing here is that for those of you, man, who really need that extra help and who really want to kickstart your 2020 off, where you need that extra help, where you want to spend some time with me, I am going to run a 2K and a 5K web class March 14th and 15th. If you want to sign up, it does cost some money. It's $2,000 per person or a couple for the 2K web class. If you want to do a 5K web class with me, that is meeting once a month for 5 months straight in a row, obviously sharing with you all the system, all the like everything that we use, all right? We use that's currently working right now to obviously get you from where you are to where you want to be. And so we meet 5 times a month. That's a 5K web class. Anyways, you want to sign up, shoot an email or more questions, shoot an email over to wholesale2millions@gmail.com. But once again, it's not for everybody. It's only for 20 people that I'm taking on. So thanks a lot, Brian. I really appreciate your time, man. Take care, dude. I wish you massive success and stay in touch.
Likewise, brothers. Hit me up when you're in LA.
For sure. Ciao, bro.